Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Luis Ortiz will be back on the Mikey Garcia versus Robert Easter undercard. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chat channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Luis King Kong Ortiz will return July 28th, Staples Center in Los Angeles on the much anticipated Mikey Garcia versus Robert Easter Jr. lightweight unification. I'm looking forward to the main event for sure. Also, Showtime's been killing. They just announced Devin Alexander fighting Andre Berto on the card. My guy, Joey Spencer, as he keeps going with his pro career. He recently turned pro, undefeated. You have Luis Collazo is on the card, and Marcus Brown is on the card. You also have Jay Leon Love versus Peter Quillen, Kid Chocolate. Another one of the fights I'm looking forward to on that card. So a lot of back-to-back months of just good boxing. That's July and August. Now, July 28th, again, Mikey Garcia, Robert Easter, looking forward to it. They have placed Luis Ortiz on this undercard. He will be facing a guy named Joe HANKS with a record of 22-2, 14 knockouts, and a 10-rounder. This is on the heels of a March fight with Deontay Wilder. In my opinion, one of my favorite fights this year. An instant classic. Wilder and Ortiz went at it. There was ups and downs, peaks and valleys. It was a roller coaster. You've seen Wilder trying to find his range in rounds 1 and 2. Ortiz looked sharp. Midway through in the 5th round, boom, Wilder caught Ortiz. Ortiz goes down, and you're like, okay, Wilder's a good finisher. It might be over for the kid. King Kong had other plans. He regained his senses and got back up, and he troubled Wilder in the 7th round to the point where the doctors had to take a look at Wilder before they would allow the bout in New York to continue for concussion protocol procedures, right? Wilder weathered his storm, came back to stop Luis King Kong Ortiz in the 10th round. So instant classic. Now, I will keep it a buck like I always do on my channel. Joe HANKS, I don't know much about him, but his record looks pretty good. I haven't done all of my research on him, so I'll be the first to admit that. One thing I do like about this fight is, again, this is not the main event, and Luis Ortiz just fought in March. Some people question his age. He's listed at 38, 39 years old. Some people question the Southpaw's age. So I'd like to see him coming off of a loss only in March, the beginning of March, and already back by July. That's what I like to see, because like guys like Bermane Stiverne, he lost to Deontay Wilder, and then he had some months go by, and then he fought at the end of the year, got knocked down, I think was Derek Rossi. Then he kind of disappeared for like 2 years. So I want to see these guys bounce back. You know, I think Luis Ortiz, even though he was stopped, it wasn't like a knockout where you shouldn't be able to come back within a good. I think the people who need to take 6 months, 8 months to a year off are people who get brutally knocked out, like brutally. And don't get it twisted, he was knocked out, he was definitely hurt and concussed, but I think against this level of opposition, Luis King Kong Ortiz should be fine, and just to stay active because he's not getting any younger. Now, as you've seen in the title, another reason I don't particularly have a problem with this fight, aside that he's coming from a loss, you got to be realistic. He did take a stoppage loss, so I mean, for him to fight the upper echelon of the division, that's not necessarily a mandatory because he's coming off of a loss, right? When AJ knocked out Dillian White, he didn't just come back and fight Tyson Fury or somebody like that. So you got to be realistic, especially since it's not a rematch. But the other reason I'm okay with this is because nobody wants to fucking fight Luis King Kong Ortiz. This man just came off a knockout loss, got knocked out multiple times, and people want to make all these comments and sidebar excuses. Oh, Luis Ortiz, he's 600 years old, he's a dinosaur, he's ancient, oh, he has high blood pressure. Then jump up in the ring with him. He's coming off of a loss. And that's what they don't want to do. And that's why it's funny, because fans come up with all these excuses about Luis Ortiz's age and blood pressure and, oh, he's never been a champion. But there's a reason why he can't land big fights, because he's every bit of danger and every bit of risk, but he doesn't bring the same reward as if you were to fight an Anthony Joshua or somebody like that, right? You don't get the same monetary gains and purse, but you definitely have all the same risk. So for me, I'm gonna watch it. I think I like the card. Plus, I want to see what he's looking like. And again, he's coming off of a loss, and nobody wants to fight the cat. So they had to obviously get Tom Hanks' son, whoever the fuck Joe Hanks is. You know, they had to get May and Jenny. They had to get Tom Hanks' son for the occasion because nobody wants to fight him. Luis Ortiz, he was supposed to fight Dillian White per the WBC. They ordered the fight, and then Dillian White, his side, started looking in the way of Kubrat Pulev, who was the IBF mandatory, I believe. And then they end up losing the purse bid. Eddie Hearn lost the purse bid, and then they pulled out from that altogether, that particular route, and then now they're fighting Joseph Parker, right? So you can't blame Luis Ortiz. He was down. I seen his team responded to the WBC order in that, and he said he was with the Dillian White. I did see Dillian White do one video where he responded to it, but it came with the clause. He said, Deontay Wilder, promise you'll fight to sign me and send me an email contract saying you'll fight me and I'll knock the old man Ortiz out. But Wilder doesn't have anything to do with the equation when the WBC ordered it. And it's funny because Eddie Hearn and Dillian White, there was times where Eddie Hearn, in my opinion, was throwing Dillian White to prevent the AJ versus Wilder fight. So he was throwing the name Dillian White at Deontay Wilder, right? But he wasn't guaranteeing his cash cow, his prize pony or whatever in Anthony Joshua, right? And Wilder was like, I'm a king. I don't travel to the UK for peasants. I'll travel to the UK for Joshua, but why should I travel for Dillian White? You get what I'm saying? And Dillian White seemed to want the Wilder fight. So it's weird that the WBC ordered you to fight Luis Ortiz, which is technically, quote unquote, Wilder's leftovers, and then you're, quote unquote, Joshua's leftovers. That would be a great fight for the fans, Dillian White versus Luis Ortiz, and we could see who's worthy of a title shot. Not that the Dillian White Joseph Parker fight is bad, but if I had it my way, I would actually prefer to see Dillian White versus Luis Ortiz as opposed to the Parker fight. But again, people don't want to get in there with Luis Ortiz because it's just high risk, low reward. I think that's how a lot of people view it, and it's evident. Like I said, how come Eddie Hearn wanted Dillian White to fight Wilder, but then the WBC is trying to have a title eliminator where if you fight Ortiz, then you'll be the mandatory to fight Deontay Wilder. Basically, the winner would get Wilder or would be in line to get Wilder. And then they went the Kubrat Pulev way at first, lost the purse bid. Now they're fighting Joseph Parker. Same thing with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury got called out by Luis King Kong Ortiz. He responded to Deontay Wilder, who hadn't really called him out because he was trying to fight Joshua. And I never once heard Tyson Fury really respond to a Luis King Kong Ortiz fight. But he's talked about fighting other people. I just haven't really heard him do this elaborate video and these guys are wooden tops and stuff. So at the end of the day, I think people realize that Luis Ortiz is a premier threat and that he's high risk, low reward. So people are kind of steering away from him unless he looks more vulnerable. Aside from that, I want to see how Luis Ortiz looks to see if he's physically and mentally the same. Like body type, what does he look like at the weigh-in? Sometimes when guys take a defeat, I don't know. I just noticed they're like Chad Dawson. He's one of the people that come to mind. Chad Dawson, after he lost to Andre Ward, he was like ripped at the weigh-in, and then he lost to Adonis Stevenson. And beyond that point, you've seen when he was at the weigh-ins, he looked softer and softer. He didn't look like the same dialed-in Chad Dawson shape that he used to be in, ego Weight Watcher style. So I look for little stuff like that. These are indications to see how mentally exhausting whatever loss was, a stoppage loss or whatever. So I want to see what type of shape Luis Ortiz gets in, how he looks on a quick turnaround coming off a stoppage loss, and then mentally if he seems the same. Like if this guy Joe Hanks, Tom Hanks' son or whatever, Castaway, with a record of 22-2, if this is a super competitive fight, it looks like he has a decent knockout percentage. So if this is a competitive fight, then maybe the Wilder fight took a lot out of Luis Ortiz. But I got to do some research on Joe Hanks to see what he's talking about. But this will be on the Mikey Garcia, Robert Easter lightweight unification at the Staples Center in LA. So good to see Luis King Kong Ortiz staying active, trying to keep busy, and we'll see. Like I said, we have to see what he looks like, but I definitely give him a quote-unquote pass for fighting this caliber of opponent, because one, he's coming off a stoppage loss, and two, the better names and the bigger names don't seem to want to fight him, period. And if you have evidence that supports the opposite of that, I would love to see the accredited website or a credible video interview where the guys like Tyson Fury and Dillian White are saying, with no exclusions, no, hey, fight me, Luis Ortiz, and I'll fight you if Wilder promises to fight. Just say, I want to fight Luis Ortiz, and once and done. Because again, to me, I rate Luis Ortiz. I think as a non-champion, he's probably the most dangerous. So if you fight him, there's no guarantee that you get to the next level. That's just how I see it. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.